Hello, everyone, and welcome to our amazing event this evening. My name is Stephanie, and I am with The Novel Neighbor. And if you aren't from St. Louis or you haven't heard of us before, we are an independently owned and operated bookstore found in St. Louis, Missouri, specifically Webster Groves, if you know about our suburbs. And we have an awesome, jam-packed author event this evening because we have not one, not two, but three amazing humans joining me tonight that are a combination of authors and illustrators. So we have tons of content to cover, and their books are amazing. Our first book this evening is Allergic, which is written by Megan Wagner Lloyd and Michelle Mee Nutter. And I just want to tell you a little bit about them. Megan Wagner Lloyd is the author of several picture books, so you might be familiar with her name, including Paper Mice and Fort Building Time. Doesn't that sound like the perfect book to read right now? She lives in Washington, D.C. area, and you can find out more about her on her online website. And her illustrator, Michelle Mee Nutter, is with us this evening as well. She did all the amazing artwork that you can find in this graphic novel. And her work has been recognized by the Society of Illustrators, 3x3 Illustration, Creative Quarterly, and so much more. And she's coming to us from Boston this evening. So that's our first book, which we'll dive into more in just a minute. And then our other book is The Babysitters Club, Claudia and the New Girl. And this is a graphic novel by Gabriela Epstein. And Gabriela graduated from the Rhode Island School of Design and with a degree in illustration. And not only has she illustrated this book, but she's also worked as a character designer for TV animation. Her other hobbies include yo-yoing, listening to spooky podcasts, and watching historical documentaries. And she is coming to us also from the Midwest. Well, I shouldn't say the Midwest. I think Texas would consider themselves the South. Same time zone, different area. So please join me in welcoming our amazing authors and illustrators. Hi,
everyone. Hi.
Let me put your cute books up here for display. Make sure people can see them. How are you this evening?
Good. Definitely hanging in there. How's everyone else?
Happy to be here in the same time zone.
Time zone, buddy.
Yeah, so excited to talk to everyone.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for joining us. You have amazing graphic novels, and this is part of Graphics Con, which I know St. Louisans know and love dearly. So we are just super excited that you're here. I think a great place to start is if you could tell us a little bit about your books. So obviously they're on display, but maybe we can start with talking about Allergic, which I know is complicated because there's two of you, but can you give us like a dual sales pitch on what is the story of Allergic? Because there's an adorable girl and dog on the cover, but what happens in it?
Okay.
Megan, you want to take it away?
Yeah, I'll go. So this is our book Allergic, and it's the story of a girl named Maggie who loves animals. She's about to get her very first puppy, and she finds out she's allergic to all animals with fur or feathers. But Maggie's really determined. She wants to figure out a way if she can still find the perfect pet.
It's a lot of fun.
And some of our customers know this, but if you buy, not only do you get a signed book plate if you get a copy of Allergic, but there's also super cute tissues that go along with it, which it's hitting to be allergy season in St. Louis. So we could use it, let me tell you. So that's great. Gabby, can you tell us a little bit about, I hope everyone knows the Babysitters Club, but specifically Claudia and the New Girl.
Yeah, this is the 9th book. Oh my gosh, there it is. Thank you. Oh, that's so sweet. This is the 9th book in the series. My first one as an illustrator. It's a Claudia-centric book, the first one we've had since Claudia and me and Janine, and we get to meet a new character named Ashley Wyeth. She's the first artsy kid we've met in the series outside of Claudia, and Claudia is absolutely smitten and just amazed that another person at the school could also love art. So we get to see what it's like when her love for the Babysitters Club is now challenged by this another love for making art and following her passion elsewhere. So read the book and find out what happens. Yeah.
Thank you for that awesome introduction, Claudia. I love that Claudia is getting her own attention in this one. Like you said, it's been a minute, so perfect. To go back to Allergic briefly, I imagine that there is a story behind this book and some possible allergy inspiration. Is that a true statement or a fair assumption?
Yeah, that's definitely true. So I came up with the initial idea because just like Maggie, I am allergic to all animals with fur or feathers, and I also have a ton of other allergies, but I wanted to just focus on animal allergies in this story. So that was kind of the first inspiration for making the book. But I wanted to create a fictional story around what it feels like to have animal allergies as a kid.
Okay.
And I don't have any allergies, so I learned a lot through the process of the book, and so I got a whole new understanding and empathy as an adult, just kind of going through the book itself and the research and everything that kids with allergies go through.
Yeah. Well, and Gabby, I think we were talking about this a little bit ahead of time. Do you have any allergies that relate to Allergic?
Yes. I'm just surprised, Michelle, you don't have any allergies. That's amazing.
Oh, I don't. Well, okay, I lied. I did lie to you just now. Forgive me. I have allergies to like basic pollen and things like that.
Okay.
Call that living. And it's just an average everyday thing. But
Okay.
I did have a spout of a weird allergic reaction when I was about Maggie's age. I was at a pool party, and I don't know what it was, but I got out of the pool, and all of a sudden I had all of these like welts, and then I just had hives all over my body for like a couple weeks, and we almost went to the doctor because of it, but like it went away and it was fine. So
That's
I don't
crazy. Oh my gosh.
It's just the one time.
Yeah, that's the weird part. Like, what is it? The mystery.
I know.
Oh, it's such a mystery so much of the time. It takes so much to like figure out exactly what is causing the allergies.
I'm sure that's
Totally.
so relatable to our audience. I feel like I know a lot of people who have had to, and Megan, maybe that you were speaking to this too, of like figuring out food allergies in particular, having to take dietary things away and add them back to figure out what's going on. I know a fellow bookseller does that.
I will say that is definitely like that's how I figured out mine. I am allergic to dogs and cats, and I think pretty much anything with fur. But I continue to have cats. We're making it work. But there's a will, there's a way. But I found out when I was a kid, I'm allergic to salmon, and my mom was like, "You just don't like my cooking. You're still gonna have to eat it." And I would eat it, and we didn't figure it out. And she was just like, "Nah, you just don't want to eat this fish that I cook." No, went to the doctor, and it was exactly like was in the book. They give you those that little bracket of all the tiny little pins, and I was like, "Can you put some salmon in there?" Blew up like a balloon.
Oh,
sorry,
man.
Mom, if you're watching this.
Put Mom on blast.
But that was cool, feeling seen by your book, because I didn't like. I think it would have been so cool to have this when I was a kid, because I remember thinking like, oh man, I'm weird and I don't know, like uncool for getting all these shots, but it's neat. Like I feel like a lot of kids ended up doing that, but you don't find out till later.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I felt like too. Like I was like, oh, this, even though actually even like some of my siblings had allergies, I still was like, oh, I'm the only one. Like I just felt like, yeah, it just felt very unusual. And then as the book has come out, it's like so many people and connecting with it, and you're like, oh, and you just realize so many people have, even if they just have like minor ones or different ones, it's like so common to have some type of allergy.
Well, I think that's what's so cool about Allergic. So like Michelle, I'm with you. I don't really have allergies, except for like maybe some fellow St. Louisans can attest to this. I'm not from St. Louis, and then I moved here, and I thought I was like very sick. And my coworker had to be like, so like you just like, welcome. This is what it's like to have allergies. It was just like the first in my life that I was allergic to pollen. And like, there's a whole science behind it of like when you're living in the city, like something has to do with the river. a lot of things that apparently create this like new thing that's like not an unusual phenomenon as a person to move to St. Louis and like develop allergies for the first time. So just like a heads up, if you were thinking of moving here, Michelle, like maybe don't. No.
I'll be prepared. I'll have all the antihistamines that I can possibly carry.
Just know what you're getting into. But to my original point, I don't have allergies, but it's like you don't have to have allergies to appreciate this book, but I imagine that if you do, this book makes you feel super seen and less lonely and less isolated in that. So I think so thank you for writing such an awesome book and using it to tell your experience. And Gabby, you already answered this. So you have cats, right? Even how many?
Okay, so when I say my cats, I'm using this loosely because my dad has 3 cats that I fostered and he adopted them all, which kudos to him. So he has 3 cats there. And then my mom has 2 other cats that we adopted, but she moved to Chile. So I have no cats with me at the time except my roommate's cat, Suki, a little Siamese cat who makes so much hair for such a tiny little being.
Yeah.
So much. Incredible. That's it. That's the only pet we have, but it feels like we have 10 cats in the house, but it's just one little
But that's how much
size cat.
It's wild how much cats shed. You don't think about it because, like, I remember when we were younger, I would always see dogs and see like dogs around, and they would shed like crazy. And then we got a cat when I was younger, and he just shed everywhere. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, they get you. Yeah, we have 2 cats. We have a cat and 2 dogs, and they're all just in it together.
Applauding.
Do you have a pet now?
No, I mean, I could probably get some kind of reptile or something, but if I bring up anything else, then my allergist is like, no.
No-go.
Yeah, because like when I did the allergy testing, it's like a lot when the allergists are like really impressed because this is like their job, they're doing this every day and they're all like, whoa. So you're like, okay, I'm just like really allergic.
No.
That does tell you something right there.
Yeah.
Okay. Michelle, do you have any pets now?
Yes, I have a cat. I share a cat with my 4 other roommates. The glory of living in Boston. You have a lot of roommates. And her name is Sasha, and we got her at a shelter about a little over, maybe 2 years at this point by now. But she has just really big eyes, and she's just very scared of everything, but she's cute.
I don't know if you all saw, but so our fellow bookseller is also very allergic to many things, but to fur specifically. And she's waited her whole life to have a puppy. And so she loves this book because we have like kind of a store dog now that she got that's like a King Charles Cavalier Spaniel mixed with a poodle. So it like is allergen free.
Yeah, hypoallergenic.
Yeah. And she's great. Her name is Penny. And so they actually recreated the cover of your book.
I think I saw.
You have to check out her social. We like got her. It's like pandemic edition. We got her to like the coworker has a mask on because we wear masks. But it's like so the dog is like licking her face, but licking her mask. Like yes,
I love it.
Lots of love for your the book for sure.
You guys already have cosplay. That's so cool.
I didn't think about it like that. That's amazing. Just so you all know, we have someone tuning in from the Philippines, so that's awesome. Thanks, Raven, for tuning in.
Welcome.
And Cindy Fox is giving Allergic tons of love, saying, "I love Allergic. Allergic is awesome." So, Gabriela, Gabby, I'm probably going to switch back and forth. I'm sorry. So this is your first Babysitters Club that you're illustrating. I don't know that people know that like it's shifted like this. There's a bunch of graphic novel editions. Like obviously there's the original Babysitters Club, and then they've been adapted for graphic novels. And this one is the first one that you've done. So can you tell us just a little bit of what's that like to adapt something that's like this classic novel into a graphic novel?
I think it would have been a lot scarier if I was a little bit more well-read. But the thing was, even though I knew about Babysitter's Club as a kid, I never got to read it. So I knew it was this thing. I knew that there had been like a movie and other adaptations, but I didn't understand. There was like a cognitive dissonance between that and getting that like kids love it and are super like invested. I remember when I was testing for it, I got an advanced copy of Christie's Big Day, which was before it had come out. And I was reading it at my local boba shop, and some girls came in and they immediately zoomed in like laser eyes, like it's not supposed to be out yet. Where did you get that? And I had to be like, are you, like I didn't know what to say. And they were just like, we checked Amazon and Barnes and Noble. That's not out. And these kids, like, they were pretty young too. Like they were on it, and they could sniff me out in a second. So anyway, the point that I'm trying to make is that like kids are on it, they love it, and that's when I kind of realized, oh, okay. I always say I wanted to do a good job, but I wanted to do especially like for the kids because like they're really invested and they love it and they put a lot of time and energy into thinking about it and making theories and whatnot. Even so yeah, it's cute. It's been really fun, and Scholastic has been nothing but supportive, and Gail and Raina have been nothing but nice. It's been really, really sweet, very fun, positive experience.
Yeah, well, and did Gail and Raina give you any
tips and stuff?
Like, any interaction there? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Gail especially. Gail, the coolest. Shout out to Gail. You're so cool. Love you. Gail actually sent me a really nice letter in the mail, and was like, I'm so looking forward to what you have to do and add to this. And they've been around answering questions for me, like big and small, about the series. And the biggest thing that I think helped a lot was I had no sense of what kids wear since I'm no longer a kid, and I don't know if Disney Channel is exactly where I want to take all of my fashion choices. So layers, just 10 layers of vests, which, if that's your thing, that's your thing. But I wanted to, get some variety. So they were awesome in that, they helped me build a Pinterest, and they were like, okay, I think that Marianne would shop at Anthropologie or something like that. And then Claudia would shop somewhere like at these other stores. So once I could find out where the stores were, I could be like, okay, I can create maybe some believable outfits that don't date me to like, 2005 skater kid.
Oh my God, that's such a cool perspective. I never thought to think about that, where the characters would shop, because I struggled with that so hard.
Oh yeah, how did you figure out like what Maggie was going to be wearing?
Magazines, like the kids' catalogs, and I was like, do kids wear this stuff? And then I texted my friend group chat, and I was like, what do kids wear? I feel like I can't go out and like talk to kids or like be at a park, and that would be weird. I don't know what they
exactly. Where are you going to see a kid out in the wild throwing a fashion show? Never. So you gotta find other ways to figure out what the kids like to wear.
Well, in non-pandemic times, we just need you to come to the bookstore, because you can look at any kid that's checking out the graphic novels, and you could even poll. I mean, there's lots of interaction that could happen, but obviously constraints of the pandemic.
Yeah. Good point.
Well, and Gabby, so you didn't have to work with did you do all the illustrations and the writing for the whole graphic novel, or were you copy?
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't answer that in the first part. So basically what happened is they choose the book that's going to be adapted. I have no say in that. So the book is handed down to me, and so I read the book. I read it several times, once for pleasure and then another time for full-on note-taking. And then I end up just having all my books are like filled with sticky notes and whatnot. And it's basically just, I have to get an idea of what the story is, and then I rearrange it like a puzzle, trying to make it as streamlined as possible, because we only have about 160 pages to tell the story. Okay. So some things have to get cut out. And the thing that's crazy cool about Anne Martin's stories is that they all have like not just B plots, but C plots and D plots and E plots. Like there's so much happening, and there's like 100 characters coming in and out all the time, and they're all different ages, and they all have their own backstories. It's crazy. in a cool way. So so a lot of it is just kind of wrangling all these. It's like herding a bunch of ferrets and trying to wrangle it all together into something that's a little bit more streamlined. And then, I adapt it from there. We try to stay as faithful, though, to Anne's vision as possible, because there's a reason these books are loved so much. I mean, they're really good, great characters, great moments. So we try to keep those as close as possible while trying to, we tweak a few things to keep it, to make it a little bit more fresh for the, 20 years later. Is it 20 years later? No, 30 years.
Yeah, it's been a couple decades there.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I do add some dialogue here and there, but the whole point is to make it inconspicuous as possible, so you wouldn't know. We want to blend in. Yeah.
I love that.
Well, and Michelle and Megan, that I think, to go back to Allergic, what is that process like for you two to work together? Because I've heard varying things when we've had some picture book authors on, kids have been surprised to hear that like the author and the illustrator don't necessarily have to interact. Obviously you're interacting because you're both on this now, but was there a lot of interaction as you were creating Allergic, or was it kind of like copy then illustrations and they were like totally separate things?
Do you want to take it?
Sure, I'll go first, and then if you want to add anything.
Yeah.
So it really depended like what stage we were at in the process. At the beginning, when I had like some of it written, and then we teamed up before like publication. Like we lots of times, like with picture books or with a lot of books, like the illustrator is chosen by the publisher, but we teamed up before. And so we were kind of able to share initial thoughts or vision for the book kind of at the outset. And then we like I wrote the script, and Michelle did like initial sketches. And then, so those were more like separate, but then coming together again through like all the stages of the art process, like reviewing the, then like we weren't using the script so much anymore. It was like all the text was dropped into the art, and we're like looking at it as a cohesive like document, and like reviewing the text and the art kind of at every single step of the way to make sure, like with our editor, to make sure that we were all happy with where everything was going.
Yeah, it was kind of like as if you have a highway and then a road that runs parallel with it. That's kind of what I always felt like. It felt like we both were in the same direction. We both were right next to each other, and sometimes we would like swoop back into one another and then kind of go off in separate directions. But it was very different from picture books because, as you're saying, Stephanie, they keep the world so separate. They have like so many people in between you to make sure that it gets done, and everyone, they're all happy. Everyone's happy.
Wait, I have a question.
Yeah.
Sorry. So you had mentioned, Megan, that y'all had worked together before this. Was that on on a picture book?
Oh, sorry. To clarify, I meant that we had like teamed up to work together before selling the book. So we made the pitch together and everything. But yeah, we hadn't done like a different project together.
Yeah, the story of how we got together is one of my favorite stories of all time. It feels like it's a meet cute at a movie or something. But
that's so great.
Basically, I went back to school later in life, and I'd always wanted my BFA. And so I was like a treat to myself in my mid-20s. And then as I was graduating, I was like, what am I going to do? I need to do something. And then I saw a little flyer that was a competition to get into the Society of Children's Book Writer and Illustrator Conference. I entered, I won, and you won entry to the LA conference. And so I didn't really know what to do, and I was a bit overwhelmed, and that's where I met Megan's agent. And she was like, I have this project. I really want to pair you two together. Take the chapters. Let me know what you think. And I wasn't sure if I wanted to jump into graphic novels, and I was on the flight home from LA to Boston, and I read it, and I fell in love with it, and by the time I landed, I was like, yes, sign me up.
Oh, that's so cute!
I feel like that was the story my Wednesday night needed, so thank you. That's just perfect. And I think we're all happy that y'all teamed up on this because, again, Amazing. We do have, okay. Question for everyone.
Yes.
Michelle would like to know, how long did it take to write and illustrate each book? So Gabby, do you want to start us off?
Sure. I think altogether, writing and drawing and inking everything for Claude and the New Girl was like about a year and a half.
Okay.
Or so. Yeah.
I have a follow-up question to that. Did you start on this before the Babysitters Club hit Netflix?
Yes, I did. But the show's amazing. Everyone go watch it. It's so cute.
It's so good. I was just like wondering if that, I was like, I hope you started before. I feel like there would feel like a lot of pressure as like, it's like re-blowing up on, during quarantine of like how amazing the Babysitters Club is as you're trying to like illustrate it.
It's been a godsend, because then that's like, again, more free reference of how children could really like dress up someone else's. And the design for that is incredible. The design for that show is, so thank you.
Michelle and Megan, how long did it take how long was the process for Allergic?
So for me, from the initial idea was in 2017. But then it took me, like, I didn't know how to write a graphic novel script like at all. I'd never written anything. So it took me like a year after that to even like just to learn how to write it, like to write a script. So then, when did it was like 2000.
It was 2018
that we like teamed up and stuff. Yeah.
And I think I think we maybe sold in the beginning of 2019 or right before 2019. And then the art took about a year and a half.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it was a long time.
Yeah. So it's a lengthy process is what it sounds like to translate all of these things into the book that comes into our hands. Michelle, your brother is saying hi. So to go back to something, Megan, you kind of just hinted at it, and so it's a perfect time. We have a question coming through on YouTube of, when writing a graphic novel, do you write out the actions like the stage directions in a play or a movie script, or is there like some other kind of comparison of what it's like to write out a graphic novel?
So everyone kind of does it a different way. For me, then I do break it down like panel 1, panel 2, panel 3, for each page in kind of stage directions, not like exactly like stage directions though, but so you kind of have a general idea of where everyone is at in each panel. But I don't do like really lengthy descriptions. Maybe it's like a paragraph if it's some like new location, or sometimes it would get pretty long if I was like describing the exact like science of some like what the allergy shots should look like, and I'd have like links and stuff. But normally I would, it's keep it more like simple. So it's more kind of like giving an idea of how to block it out, and then just so I can get those like beats down for like the dialogue and narration. And then Michelle, we talked, and I do it with the knowledge that she can rearrange the panels as needed, or, that she has like a whole new different perspective as an illustrator and can see like when something is working or not working. So,
and we definitely shifted some things around too, and moved some panels, or gave some emotional beats some extra room to breathe. I really liked the stage directions. I found out recently that I don't visualize things in my brain quite the same way that other people can. I have a visual memory, but I don't see like moving pictures when I read a book or anything like that. I don't see anything. And it's something called aphantasia. And so the stage direction really, really helped me out to kind of know which direction to start off with. Also, I want to shout out, I think my nephew, if my brother's watching. Hi, Ethan. I figured I would say hi.
Totally. Gabby, did you want to ask something? You made a reaction. I didn't know if you.
Oh, I actually was going to ask Megan. You said that it took you a while to like get down writing for graphic novels, and I think that's so interesting, because I think there is this misconception that like at least from my writer friends, that's like, oh, if I write prose, then I can just write a graphic novel. But they're very different mediums. What was it like for you switching over? Like, what was the biggest hurdle for you?
So I had done picture books, so I had like some experience with like thinking visually as a writer. And then, but that's more like, I feel like the biggest thing with picture books is like the page turn. But then, and I'd also written novels, like unpublished ones. So I had some experience like planning a larger work or like structural things. So I think, the biggest thing where I could like bring those two together, but then it's really thinking about like all the beats with panel to panel movement and everything you can do. It was almost like just figuring out how to narrow things down, because I was just realizing the more I did it, like how much you can do with that, like how many like different jokes you can have going on or different like elements. It's just like, yeah, it's just so cool. And then with the narration, like you can have something that's so funny, but then you're adding this emotional beat in the narration. It's just like, it was more almost like once you realize there's just like abundance of stuff you can do, and then it's like figuring out, okay, what is like the strongest thing I can do here for this story. So I loved learning it. I love writing comics.
That's so cool.
Gabriela, Carolyn, sorry, I think it's Caroline. Sorry, Caroline, if I'm saying your name wrong. Have you always liked to draw?
Yeah, I've been drawing since I was little, and I wouldn't still be drawing if I didn't love it. So yeah, it's been a part of me ever since. And I think it is for a lot of kids, but then like once you hit like 4th grade or something, then we stop, because there's this idea like if you're not good at it, then you shouldn't do it anymore. Whoa, not true. Almost knock everything down. It's not true. If you like it, if you're so happy. Yeah. If you like it, keep doing it. You don't have to be, Picasso to draw and to, be an artist or whatever. Just do what you like. Have fun.
I'll snap to that all the way.
Thank you.
Michelle, also your dad and mom say hi, and they like.
Oh my god, they're so awesome! This is so cute. Hi everybody. They're so excited. I get block texts of how excited my mom is and my dad, and it's just really sweet, because this is something that they've known that I wanted to do for so long, and I was terrified to do, and so it just feels really nice to share it with them.
Wait, for real? Like, have you always wanted to be a graphic novelist?
I always loved comics. I read Calvin and Hobbes and X-Men comics like my whole entire life, Iron Man, everything, and I always would draw manga and everything, but it seemed so far-fetched. Like at the time, little Michelle didn't quite see if that could be, a job, an actual thing I could do, and it would be something I would do on the side. So it's been nice to be like, all that drawing when I was a kid.
Yeah, that's amazing. Congrats.
Thanks, Abby. Thanks. Same to you too. That must be what it feels like with you and your friends and family, and just being able to celebrate this huge accomplishment.
Yeah, it's been really cute seeing like them get excited. My dad had never read Babysitter's Club before, but within like a week of my book coming out, he literally gives me TED Talks, and he's like, "This is what people don't understand about Claudia's character."
I love it. I want those deep dives into the characters.
He's ready. He's got his dissertation ready.
Extra content. Like I feel like we need that. I want to hear all of that.
I love that. I love Babysitter's Club when I was a kid, and I was like so excited to do this because I've got a Babysitter's Club story, so I'm just gonna jump in with it. So I loved them so much, reading all the books and stuff, and then at some age, I'm not sure how old I was, but I was like, all of a sudden I felt like that maybe I was too old, and I feel like even now, like that's less common. Like people, maybe because there's like fandoms online, people feel a little more freedom to like stick with the things they love. But I was like, oh no, I'm I'm too old for it. And so I sold my whole collection to my neighbor. And then I would think of her like in her house reading them. I was so sad. So then I would go like covertly to the library and keep reading them all still because I still loved them.
Oh, Megan, I love you so much.
So I love them so much. And I actually had my very first paid babysitting job when I was only 8. And now looking back, I'm like, I was babysitting people when I was 8. Like I remember putting little toddler twins to bed, like by myself. When I was 8, I was like,
that's crazy.
That must be very young.
Yeah.
That's pretty wild.
You were lined up to be president of the Babysitters Club at the rate you were going.
Oh yeah, my friends and I started a Babysitters Club.
Oh my gosh!
But we would only go out like in pairs. We always went like 2 at a time, which actually was a lot better than having like an 8-year-old with your kids. So the 2 at a time was a good plan, I think.
I totally think so. Yeah.
I so appreciate you sharing that story with us.
Oh my gosh, wait, who's your favorite character then?
Oh, I love Marianne because I was so like painfully shy. I'm still pretty shy. So I was just like, oh, Marianne's shy. Plus I always had like a really big crush on someone, like always. And so I was like, she's shy, but she has a boyfriend. Like, how does this work? And so I thought it was so great.
It can happen. Miracles happen every day. Also, Logan.
Did you guys have a favorite character?
Yes. Mine was a tie between Marianne, and now it's a tie between Marianne and Claudia. I think ever since.
Ah, cute. Yeah,
for the same exact reasons, Megan. Which isn't a surprise.
Yeah.
You know what's interesting is that, like, you know, when I came into it, I thought, okay, I have this pegged. You know, everyone's like their own archetype, and I know exactly who I'm gonna like. It's gonna be Christy because jock, and I was a jock. But no, I love all of them. They all are so unique, and they have their own, I don't know, foibles and backstories. It's just, I've said this before, but you know, it's so rare to have like an all-girl group, and they get to have like they can be multifaceted. It's neat, and so I also really like Marianne a lot, especially in the Netflix show. This is my official plug for the Netflix show. It's really cute.
I haven't seen it yet. It's on my to watch list. I'm dying to get to it. It's in there. It's in.
You're gonna like it. I think even if you're not a Babysitters Club like fan, like kids would like it. It's so cute and funny.
It's also kids and adults. Like everyone should watch this show. Like first of all, we all know everyone's in desperate need of new content after the past year. We've watched everything, so don't tell me you don't have time for it. And like it's a great adult show. Like even if you weren't ever invested in the Babysitters Club, it's just so good.
Yeah,
and there's some great updates in it. I don't want to spoil anything.
Yeah, it does stay like modern.
Yes, there's some great like modern contemporary add-ins that I think are super significant for kids, especially to watch.
Yeah. Plus, it's quarantine. We're all kind of like getting back into what we really loved in middle school, but we're too angsty to admit. So yeah, embrace it. Also, Megan, I'm so sorry. You sold all your Babysitters Club books. I did the same thing with a lot of my comics when I was in high school, and now I'm like,
yep,
gotta buy them all back. Yeah, kids, keep your stuff. Like even if you think it's cringe later. You may be cringe, but you're free. No, like in 10 years, I promise you'll want it back. You'll want those cute books back.
I sold Nancy Drew, which was very sad for like all of my yellow, like the yellow ones.
Yep.
Yep. So I'm buying them back one by one.
Solitary tear for that.
I also feel like I have to speak up for Christy because she didn't get mentioned, and I love her.
Christy's great. Yeah. That's good.
I love them all. It's hard to pick.
They're all so amazing. Well, and the show made me love them all. Sorry. I got us. Well, to go back to something, not to put you on the spot, Michelle, but I think this ties into a question that we have coming through the chat as well. You mentioned that you were terrified to like do graphic novels. And maybe that's like terrified to do something larger than just graphic novels even. I don't want to limit you to that. But could you speak to that. And the reason I'm bringing it up is because I think that probably also connects to like advice that you all might have, not for young writers and illustrators.
Yes, definitely.
Maybe before we go to everyone else, just because you had kind of, I feel like, hinted at that maybe earlier.
Yeah, I'm a big scaredy cat in some things, and drawing, as much as I love drawing so much, but I remember at a point, and as you were saying, Gabby, like we all reach a point at some age where your work is deemed either good or bad, and then you have to worry about that. And so I always worried about my work not being good enough, and I really wanted to go for illustrations for picture books and books for kids and comics too. I loved the story format, but I was really afraid. I was terrified of trying and it not working out. No one would hire me. I didn't know much about the process. And so that was scary. It was the unknown. And stepping into the unknown is definitely a big fear for, I think, a lot of us. And so when I was younger, I was like, okay, let me find out ways to have art in my life, like by a hobby or a job that's art adjacent, like hence graphic design, things like that. And it always found its way back because I love it and I love doing it, and it makes me feel good and it makes me feel empowered to make characters that I didn't have growing up. So that love persisted, and here we are now. I'm still scared. I'm still terrified at the blank page, but it's just jumping into it. And the first mark that you make, the anxiety just dwindles down as you go.
It's so poetic. That could all be like quotes on a t-shirt.
Oh, you're too kind, Gabby.
I love persevered.
Great, like inspirational tweets that we could snip it up too.
Yeah.
I should start inspiration tweeting. I think you guys have
totally.
inspired
I'll
me.
embroider it all on little tea cozies. Yeah.
I need all tea cozies. Not enough tea cozies.
Yeah.
Megan, what about you? Do you have any advice or thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I learned from trying it. Like I'd never known anyone who made comics. Like even when I had done the picture books, so I knew like some writers, but I didn't know anyone who was like a comics creator, like in real life. I hadn't even really talked to like people online. So I was like, so it's just kind of like doing something really different for me. I felt like I didn't have like an example of how to do this. But so I was really nervous, but it was also really exciting to try something new. And I would say it just really inspired me with my creativity in general. Like, yeah, just try doing like a different kind of project than you've ever done before, because you never know like what you're going to click with. Like I never would have thought when I was a kid, I knew I wanted to be a writer, but I wouldn't have thought I could write comics because I didn't know that there could be that person like behind the scenes working on them. I didn't know that existed, you know? So yeah, that's my advice, is just try out, like if you want a creative career or you want to do creative things for fun, like you might end up doing different things than you thought you would do at first, and just like experiment and try around, like writing for different age groups or writing different styles of things or doing different kinds of art to see what really clicks with you.
Yes. All
Yeah.
Inspirational quote is supporting it. So
Yeah.
Gabby, what about you?
I'm gonna jump off what Megan said and say that like there's, you know, you have lots of different skills in art, but I think there's a skill that you can always work on, and that is finishing things. So you know, if you want to get better at making comics, you got to make comics. And so, you know, you can even just start small, little baby bites, those little mini bagel bites, like, you know, make a 2-page comic. Or I used to, when I was in middle school, man, you get some fresh printer paper, smells so good. You take like 2 or 3 of them, you fold them in half and you staple them, you make your own little zine. And I would just fill it, and I would be like, okay, I have this many pages, I'm going to make a story that fits. And I would number it and do like a little outline in light pencil. And then if it fit, I would ink it. And, you know, and then, you know, it's not gonna, win you an Emmy nomination or anything, but it's gonna, it's good practice, and you'll figure out what worked and what didn't, and then you can move on from there. And maybe you even realize, man, I didn't like drawing that, but I liked writing it. And then maybe that's a good discovery. And then you realize, okay, maybe I need to find an artist friend, and I'll focus on writing and they can focus on drawing. You learn by doing. So go out and do it.
I love that. And I love that just grabbing whatever you can and not getting fussy with your tools, because as artists and writers, I feel like we get so excited about the tools that we use, and the bare bones just work the best sometimes.
Dude, this is so real. And I think we can all admit to this. Anyone who's even just a little bit artsy or a writer, everyone has beautiful, a stack of beautiful, leather-bound notebooks that you say that you're going to write in or draw in. Yeah. But you never do, because we all go back to that crappy printer paper, just whatever you find, receipts. Mm-hmm. I used to draw comics back when I worked at Joann Fabrics on the back of the receipts and post them up on the front. Yeah. So just go back to what you know. It doesn't matter. Draw on the back of a receipt on crumpled paper. It's fine.
Thank you all so much for that. I have no doubt that there are tons of kids who are watching this who are feeling it never fails. Any visit that we hear, I think hearing from people who have done it and are encouraging, like you all just were, results in some kind of new product that we hear about. I get to always see those because people have our email address, but it's such a profound impact that I feel like these events make to really encourage that and help keep momentum moving forward. Because I'm sure, as you know, sometimes that's hard. It can feel very discouraging. So thank you so much for those comments. There are obviously some questions that make sense of, is there, for Megan and Michelle, is there more coming from the story of Allergic? And if not, is there more coming from a collab between the two of you?
It is not an Allergic story. It is not a continuation of Maggie and her journey, although I would love to go back to that if everyone else would. We are working on another graphic novel together. Megan, do you want to tell a little bit about it? The little bit that we can.
Yeah, so we're so excited to be working together again. So excited. And we're making a story about a kid who's in a very big family.
So I get to draw a lot of kids and a lot of chaos.
Yeah.
So
welcome to the club. Yeah.
Exactly.
You might need outfit inspiration, which I'm sure Gabby can help you with. But also, if anyone wants to drop some pics in the comments, I'm sure. Yeah. And Gabby, as you can imagine, similar question, just shifting it to Babysitters Club. Is there more coming for you in the Babysitters Club, and or more coming from just you?
Yes, to all of the above. I do have more coming out for Babysitters Club, but first we're getting an amazing number 10 book from Chan Chow. Got the title page got released, I think last week or 2 weeks ago. Yeah. Christy and the Snobs. It's going to be awesome. I've had the privilege of reading it over. It is just gorgeous, beautiful, amazing. What's that Lady Gaga gif? Everything good. Yeah, it's beautiful. Go check it out. That'll be out in fall. And then my next Babysitters Club will be after that. And then another thing that I'm working on is another book for Scholastic. This one is a YA book. It's called Invisibles. And I am only drawing this one. This is written by Cristina Diaz-Gonzalez, I think. And she has written a bunch of other middle grade books. And so this one is pretty much Breakfast Club, but for Latinx kids. And it's super cool. I'm very, very stoked to get to draw something that I think a lot of Latinx kids and students will relate to.
They're gonna love it. I'm excited. I can't wait to.
Thank you. I'm excited for y'all's new book too. Things to look forward to post-COVID.
Yes, people are very excited that they have more to come from everyone. So, and I want to give a shout out to Cindy Fox, who I believe is a teacher, saying you're all awesome, and that she obviously this comment is amazing, but then also I believe she told us above, here in the illustrating process, she's going to be able to take that to her students. So
Yay.
Awesome. Glad you're loving it, Cindy. Before I get there, sorry, we have such great comments coming from everybody. I want to make sure we don't miss anyone. So if I've missed you, please feel free to flag it again. But I think we got to them. So before we have some this or that's to end our evening together, but before we get to that, something that I wanted to have a conversation about is, and I think we kind of hinted at this earlier, but so graphic novels are so important. I hope everyone knows how much the Novel Neighbor loves graphic novels. I mean, we sell these things, they fly off our shelves. Our middle grade graphics novels, like keeping them stocked is so hard because they're just so beloved. But also we have lots of love for YA graphic novel and adult graphic novels. But I definitely have heard people express like, do they count as a real book? And I think we all are on the same page that graphic novels are so important to the literary world. And I just wondered if you all had thoughts on that, especially as like, sounds like everyone maybe grew up like some comic lovers and some other things. Just like, how do you feel? Obviously you love them, you write, you participate in them, but why do you think graphic novels are so important?
Because you get to see so many things and so many stories develop as within the graphic novel format. When you're reading a novel or any other type of book, you don't get to see the characters, and there's something so powerful about seeing a character that looks like you, that comes from where you come from, and that it's a mirror and you get to see them succeed and follow along a storyline. And when I was younger, I had a really hard time staying focused for chapter books, so graphic novels were a great way for me to like finish a book, feel satisfied of finishing a book, but also see a lot of amazing superheroes and women who were superheroes, because we didn't really have a lot of women comics growing up, and so it was really empowering to see these strong female characters in this way.
Yeah.
What about you guys?
You go, Megan.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I totally agree. I just think instead of it being like either or, it's just like more, it's like more fun. You can read your novels, you can read your graphic novels. And one thing I think is really cool is that I just feel like a lot of kids will, sometimes people perceive graphic novels as like taking the easy route or something, but I've noticed that a lot of kids will actually like stretch themselves in other ways with graphic novels, because they'll be more willing lots of times to read outside of the genres that they normally read in, because they're like, oh, it's a graphic novel. And so they'll read a fantasy book, they'll read a mystery, they'll read realistic fiction. Whereas a lot of times I've noticed kids with like the regular novels, because those could take so much longer to read, will really want to stick with like their favorite series or their favorite genre and have a lot harder time like stretching out of that. So I just think it can be actually a really great tool to help kids like read a wide variety of genres. And also, just like I was saying, talking about writing graphic novels, there's so much going on there. There's so many layers. And that's why I think kids love reading them over and over again, because it's like lots of times on the first read, they're kind of like skimming the pictures and reading the text, or like the reverse. And then on another read, they're looking more carefully. There'll be like humor in the illustrations, something in the background, different things that they're not seeing the first time. So I just think it really rewards like really detailed reader, and really like reading the art too and seeing what's happening there.
100%.
Yeah, that's a great point, the rereadability. I like to jump off of that. I would say that, graphic novels are great for a million reasons, but one of the reasons is visual literacy is a part of what you need to be able to get the full taste of what a graphic novel is giving you. And the fact of the matter is, majority of the media that we do consume outside of school is visual, right? I mean, whether it's movies or TVs or like, even interacting face to face. We're not reading stuff. So it's not just words, it's always words and pictures. And I think the earlier that you can start teaching kids, like, what does it mean? Like, what do these symbols mean? What do these color combinations usually denote? Angry or sad feelings or stuff like that. I think it's really good for them to start understanding the symbolism, because the symbols that have been around in art history for literally thousands of years are still influencing the designs we see, the logos we see, a lot of the choices made in how film is produced and how the news is filmed and given to us. So it's good to give these kids a background as early as possible. And graphic novels can offer that, right? You can talk about all those different levels of the story as well as the art and how that's highlighting it. And I also do want to say, as far as like breadth is concerned, yes, absolutely. I feel like kids are going to stretch themselves more for that. And also it makes stories more accessible, because not all kids have, are able to read these little language at the same rate, right? Whether you're an ESL student, you have dyslexia for whatever reason, that maybe reading a regular novel doesn't come as clearly to you. A graphic novel could make things a lot easier for you. And there you go. All of a sudden, what might have been a huge roadblock and kept you from this amazing world of books and other people's stories is no longer there because you have graphic novels. So why not? Just like you said, it's not like this or that, it's both, right?
More reading is amazing. Always more reading.
That is totally how we feel. But thank you so much for sharing that. I think, again, there's been such a great surge in graphic novels over the past several years. And so it's amazing to also have you all speaking to that. Linda's giving a shout out. Yes, graphic novels are real books.
Yeah, Linda. Yeah.
We had a couple, 2 questions come through that I want to make sure we get to. So Raven said, I'm planning to get a laptop or tablet soon, but as a digital illustrator, can't decide what makes the most, which device is easier for drawing and coloring, and was wondering if you all had opinions on that.
Ooh. It definitely depends on what you want to do. What I like, I use an iPad, and what I really, really liked about that was it was a cheaper alternative. I now know that there are a lot of other companies that do, graphics tablets that are on the cheaper scale, but an iPad worked so well for me, and I use Procreate all the time, and it's a very cheap app. It's very accessible, and what I really enjoyed was it was a device that I could take with me anywhere, and I had unlimited resources right at my fingertips, and it was very intuitive. It really felt like drawing on a sketchbook, and so I could make a watercolor piece or an acrylic piece, and I wouldn't have to bring all the materials. It worked out for me, but it really depends on what you feel comfortable working with.
Yeah, ditto. I have a lot of other friends who just love the Apple iPad. And I think if you are going to go for a tablet, having one that's also a full-fledged computer is nice for the price point, right? Because you can also use it for tons of other stuff. I personally enjoy using a laptop. I've been using the same one since 2013 that I got in college. Thank you, Mommy. She got it for me as a birthday gift. And it's still chugging along. It's like, it's going to be old enough to vote soon. And I use, actually, I will show it to you. I use this basic Wacom Intuos tablet that I plug into it. It's not nearly as fun portable as an iPad, but I've still drawn on airplanes and stuff with this in my lap, and it's fine. And the nice thing about these tablets is that they are unbreakable. I have dropped it so many times. Don't drop it. Try not to drop it, but I have. It's happened, and it's fine. It's fine. So, and you can often get those on Craigslist and stuff. I get all my stuff off Craigslist. So it's really a matter of what your personal preference is. You can always go, if you, and it's quarantine, but maybe in the after times, if you go to a Mac store and try out an iPad and see if you like how that feels. That's also something you can do without having to buy it first.
I definitely recommend trying anywhere you can before buying and really seeing.
Yeah. Sorry, I can't tell if I'm pointing down or are you below me or are you above me?
I'm on my screen. You're above me.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we all see the same. So I think you're good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Word. Yeah.
Not like Zoom. I've learned on Zoom. You're not always.
Oh, we're not. Oh.
Not all the time.
Good to know.
And call me Lexi. What fandoms are you a part of?
What fandoms are you part of, Gabby? I feel like you did this action.
Well, a lot. Let's say Avatar and Legend of Korra. I love those fandoms. I literally, behind me, I have a Legend of Korra print that I got from Mondo. I love Korra. And also Danny Phantom. Wait, how do I print?
Oh my god. I was wondering if that was a Danny Phantom print.
It's Danny Phantom. Kids, did you know that Nickelodeon used to have a magazine that you could get every month? I think it was delivered to your house, and you could get comics and pull out posters. I don't think you can find these anymore. I'm cherishing it. You'll have to pull it from my claws when I die, but these are my fandoms.
That is a blast from the past. I totally, that was in the vault somewhere, Gabby, and you just unlocked it like a treasure.
Right? 2006 is back. It's ready for action.
Nickelodeon, get with the times. Bring it back.
Yeah. What about you? What are your fandoms?
Steven Universe. I think I watched Steven Universe on repeat during this whole entire, like, drawing Allergic. I can't really listen to anything or, like, it's too distracting to do stuff or, like, multitask. So when it came to, like, the inking and the coloring, I just had that on repeat, and it was amazing. So
Great
that's
soundtrack.
That's a big one. Avatar. Love it all the way. Oh my god, just so many. I feel like I could go on and on about it. What about you, Megan?
I don't know. My mind went really blank. I'm like more someone who I would be afraid to say I'm in a fandom because I'm like, I think everyone else like has it more memorized than me. I'm like, don't ask me any questions. I forgot it all.
Well, they're in there somewhere. That's for certain. I mean, you had the Donkey Kong song going on while you were writing. we bonded over what we had like repeated like on a loop.
Well, wait, Michelle, you had mentioned that you read manga. Is there any manga series you're reading now that you would recommend?
Oh my god, I've been really wanting to get my hands on Haikyuu. I've been watching.
Yes, sorry.
Oh my god. Well, I want to love something just as much as they love volleyball in like the most passionate ways.
I love it.
Gabby.
I love Haikyuu. It's
Gabby.
Look at all my charms. Sorry.
I love them.
Please read that manga. You will love it. I'm not just saying that because it literally changed my life, but like you should read it.
Oh, they're so good. And Utena, Revolutionary Girl Utena was one of my favorites growing up. That was super important to me. And Sailor Moon. I mean, I just feel like natural.
Yeah. Sailor Moon created the selfie pose.
Magical girls all the way.
I am waiting for a Sailor Moon series to come back. Like I just feel like that deserves to be on a streaming platform. But
totally.
It is back.
Sailor Moon. Wait, is it S? Sailor Moon S?
So they rebooted it, and it's Sailor Moon Crystal.
Oh, that's right.
The new show. The first seasons are a little bit. The animations. That's not my favorite. But this new season, chef kisses.
Okay, I need to go look. I feel like we'll talk later.
It was also the creator's birthday yesterday. I just want to put that out there. Or wait, was it yesterday?
Happy birthday.
Naoki.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, sorry. I'm pretty sure it was her birthday yesterday, wasn't it?
That's awesome.
I don't remember. Also, did we lose Megan? Oh no.
Yeah, can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay, I don't know what happened. I haven't had this happen yet, but I guess it's gonna happen to everyone sometime during the video call stuff.
Yeah, it's like a rite of passage. I do want to say that Caroline said Gravity Falls is her fandom.
Oh, Gravity Falls is so good.
Love that show.
Oh my god.
Age 11, our friend Caroline.
Good taste. Got good taste. She-Ra too. Oh my god, She-Ra. Okay.
That's another fun Scholastic graphic novel, by the way. There is a She-Ra adaptation that came out last year, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Written by GGDG and drawn by Paulina Gancho, I believe.
They're so good. They're so good.
Watch me get all of these wrong, and it's completely different people. I know I got the Sailor
You're, like,
Moon
going
woman
along
wrong.
with it.
It's Naoko. Gosh.
I
You just gotta say it like you believe it, and it's true.
I know you
speak with
confidence. Confidence is key.
okay. So quick rapid fire. Megan, you're back.
Hey!
Oh, we got some assistance.
Yeah.
Shout out to whoever's giving the technical assistance.
Megan has really long arms. You can't see it. It's just wrapping around.
I'm just reaching around.
Reaching down and around doesn't even look like Call Me Lexi, who asked that question, said their fandoms are Hamilton, Miraculous, Ladybug, Harry Potter, and Percy Jackson.
Oh, those are good ones. Those are great.
Really good. My roommates are obsessed with Miraculous Ladybug. Obsessed.
Who
It's
is?
a good show. My roommates.
Your roommate?
They-
That's awesome.
Yeah, and the cat. I think the cat also enjoys Miraculous Ladybug. She doesn't meow during it.
Suki.
so.
Suki loves Miraculous Ladybug.
Yeah, Suki stands.
Good.
Okay, I think I know some of the answers to the rapid fire questions, but just pretend we don't. And by that I mean, first one is, and we can just go like round robin style and just shout it out, but cats or dogs, which I feel like.
Okay, none for me, but weirdly enough, I wrote a book about a cat, so.
So if you had to choose, would you choose a cat or a dog?
I don't know. It's like I've never had to actually make the decision. It's something you can only make if it's like a real choice, you know?
Yeah, no, that's fair. And I don't want you to go down a hole of trying to make a decision that you'll never get to make. Yeah. No. Are you both cats?
I am cats all the way.
Yeah.
Wow. I feel so outnumbered. Someone in the chat needs to give me love for dogs. Okay. Tacos or pizza?
Pizza.
Tacos.
You know, we can make this work. We can
It's Texas, man. I can't not say
I feel
tacos.
like- yeah, no, sorry. That's like, yeah, that'd be rude, honestly. You might get kicked out of the state. I don't know. Unclear.
I'm gonna get kicked out of the neighborhood if I say it. So
Ice cream or cake?
ice cream.
Ice cream.
cake.
Ooh. What about an ice cream cake?
Ooh.
I didn't know that. I also feel like I must have been hungry when I first started eating. I didn't realize how food related they were. Okay, great. Thank you. Caroline and Abby are coming through the chat for me for loving dogs.
Oh,
So
yes.
thank you, Caroline and Abby. Okay, summer or winter?
Winter.
I'm going to go with a West Coast summer and an East Coast winter.
Nice.
Oh.
Got to skip the humidity. So
We don't
I-
have to
you know,
do that in St.
I was
Louis.
gonna say winter, but we just had our snowmageddon here, so I'm gonna go with summer. I'm ready for summer.
Yeah. Winter was for Texas.
Yeah. Yeah.
Swimming or hiking?
Hiking.
Hiking.
I would choose swimming, but I'm allergic to chlorine, so hiking.
No. So one of my best friends growing up was allergic to chlorine, and it was really terrible. She had her own pool, like blow up. They got around it so she could still swim without.
I wasn't allergic when I was a kid, thankfully, so I got to have all the swimming memories, but then I developed it. So
Good. Oh, so bad. You were doing bad.
That's wild. I'm sorry. Unicorns or dragons?
Dragons.
dragons.
Unicorn.
This quiet that was.
This is for my little cousin Mila. She loves unicorns, so I'm gonna. Also, I was a horse girl as a kid. So what's a unicorn but a horse with a hat, right? So like,
Yeah.
Ugh, I was so jealous of horse girls. I was like, that's not an option for me.
no. Unicorns are hypoallergenic, though.
It's true.
That would be perfect.
Magic and rainbows. There you go. No one's allergic to those.
There you
There
go.
you go.
Wait,
Is that why you chose dragons? Because they're reptiles and they don't have fur.
No. I didn't think of
That
it.
was a protective word, though.
Like, yeah.
I will say, if you don't know, do you all know about the book coming out called Itty Bitty Kitty Corn? Which is
No.
like
Yeah.
all of your interests. It is a new picture book coming out, and it is about a kitty following their dreams and becoming a unicorn. So just for the cat loving mixed with a unicorn.
That is precious.
The Venn diagram of all of our interests merging. It's great.
It comes out at the end of the month. It's amazing. Okay. Thank you so much for entertaining our this or that questions. And thank you so much for joining us this evening. This has been so fun. You all are so engaging. And so just like one final shout out, lots of love coming through of appreciation and thank you. So I hope you all get to see that. Just as a reminder to everybody that you can purchase Allergic from this link. And we have similar link for Babysitters Club, and both of them come with signed book plates that I know like a lot of time goes into those book plates. And Gabby, you have your own illustration on yours, so they're super fun. So please support these awesome graphic novels and also graphics. Thanks for bringing us great graphic novels, Scholastic. So thank you again so much. And we hope everyone has a great rest of their evening. And sorry, if there's any final things. I didn't give you a chance to say a final thing, but.
Thank you so much for having us. And thank you everyone for being here. This was a lot of fun. This was so much fun.
Yeah, thank you, everyone.
Yeah, thanks so much.
Yeah, thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye.